So this is Steve Cox starting in with my third part of my Carbide Create Pro training video, part 3. We're going to be talking about merge types today. So the skill set we're going to be using are model tabs. On the model tab is the merge type min, merge type max, merge type equal, and then all of those will be talking about the base height that we can add to as well. So we're going to jump right in here and start talking about merge types. I've already got a few things built. You can see what it looks like. This material is 30 by 30 by 2 inches deep. So if I jump over to merge type, we can show what it looks like. So what we have here is the first build is a base layer. There's 3 of them, 1, 2, 3. They're flat. I added 1 inch and an add. So that's 1 inch thick. So that was my first build to build that base layer. Then I didn't do anything to the top of this one. And this one has a dome on it, and you can see that is the second one here. It is round, it's at a 45, it's 1 inch high, and it's an add. Now it doesn't quite go all the way to 1 inch because in order to keep that 45, it didn't need to get up that high, so it's a little less than 1 inch. So the last one we did is number 3, and it's an angle, and it is at a 45, and I'd had to do a height limit. That's what chopped this top off. And it's a 1 inch and it's an add. So these are my 3 shapes that I'm going to investigate here for the min and max function. So I'll close that, and we're going to have these 2 bars run through both of them, and that will show us what the bar does on each different area. So the first thing I'm going to do is take these 2 bars and I'm going to build a shape out of them, and I'm going to go round 45. So we'll do bars, and it's a round and it's at a 45, and we're not going to do anything with height limit. We're going to make it 1 inch, and we're going to do 1 inch add, and we're just going to change some of these. So that's where we start out. So if we look here, when we did an add function, you can see the add. This is just to show you a baseline of what it would look like if it was not on top. But when I do an add, it just follows the contour of the shape above it, and we popped out there a little bit on top. So now let's do what we came here for, our min. And I'm going to change this to min, M-I-N. And so now you can see a little bit of what's going on here with the min function. And so let me go back and show you what I wrote down that each of the functions do. So when I look at a min function, the height limit still works the same as always when you build your model of whatever you're modeling. The base height it will push up your function that you've made, and we're going to play with that a little bit. But what happens here, what the min height does, is it works or adds to the bottom level layer, the very bottom layer, and it adds a new min model, which in this case is the bars that we're using, is lower than the in-place model. So when we look at the drawing here, this ends up being when it is lower, then this is the in-place models. We got 3 of those. When it is lower than the in-place models, you can see that it basically carves out everything on top of it. So it works or adds to the bottom level when the new model or bars is lower than the in-place model. It removes the in-place model above it, and the new min model prevails. So when we look at it, what we see here, when it's below this level, the min model prevails. All right. And so now the next thing is that what we're going to start doing is we're going to start raising that model up. And as we raise it up, the new min model, when the new model, the bars are raised up and they pass the in-place model, then the in-place model will prevail, and the new min model will disappear. So as we raise the new bars, as they increase in height, and it passes the height of the in-place model, then the in-place model will prevail and the new min model will disappear. So let's do that and see what it looks like. So right now we've got a little rounded, and we could actually change that to a flat model if we wanted to, which is going to be a little taller because it's not cut off by the rounding height. Or we could do an angle model. And you see now it's an angled model. So we'll leave it at the angled model now just because it looks cool. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to use the base height, and we're going to start stacking another layer below that one. So I'm going to come in at 0.5 and we'll add that and see it raised it up. Still below the layer of the other ones. So now we'll go to 1 inch. So now what happened is we added 1 inch. So now the new model is higher than the in-place model, and so the in-place model prevails and overrides it. So the new model disappears. And over here, we can see that's starting to happen as well. This arc right here is the in-place model, and it is prevailing over the other one. And this one hasn't got that high yet. So we'll go to 2, and we'll just push it on up. And see, when we push it on up, the new model is above all of the in-place models, and so it doesn't impact the in-place models anymore. That's how the min model function works. So now we're going to look at the max function. I have the similar setup that I've had in the past. I have 3 in-place models and then 2 bar models that I'll do the max on. So let's go look at what the wording says for the merge type max. Height limit still works the same as building any other model. Base height will still push up this model to make it taller. If for the max height, it's working at the bottom level first, working from the bottom up. A new max model does not change or affect the in-place model at all until it rises above the in-place model. So the in-place model will prevail as long as the new max model is below it. As the new max model rises in height and passes the in-place model, then the new max model will prevail and the in-place model will slowly start to disappear. So let's go see if that's how it functions. So we've got our 2 written here, or 2 bars highlighted, and we're going to change it to we'll change it to 1. We'll bring it to 0.75, and we'll add that, and we'll see what it looks like. So as you can see from the control here, that's what it looks like, but the model going through here at 0.75 is just now starting to peak above the flat model. So we'll push it back down to 0.5. So at 0.5, it's below it, and the new max model is below it, and so it doesn't impact any of the in-place models. So but when we come up to 0.75, we'll start to see it peak through. As before, we'll start to see it peak through. We'll come on up to 1, and it's completely peaked through, so all that's left of the flat model is gone. When we look at the rounded model, we can see that the new model is starting to eat away at the in-place model on the other 2, and we'll come on up to 1.25, and see it's still continuing to eat away. So if you want that kind of look, if you're going for that, then this is how you do it. But as we continue on up, the in-place model will totally disappear. So we'll go up to 1.75, see what happens there. So that's way up, and you can see we're starting to peak out a little bit at the top. So if we go 1.65, all of this model is gone, all of this in-place model is gone, and there's very little left of the 3rd one here. So we'll come to 1.75 like we were, and you can see that it pushes above it, and it's totally gone. So the way the max model works is it starts from the bottom up, and it does not impact the in-place models until it rises above them, and then it totally takes over. So now we're going to look at the merge type function equal, and it acts a little bit like the min model when it starts out, and then it finishes up like the max model. So again, we've got our control, it's coming on through, and so let's go see what we wrote down about it. So merge type equal, height limit's still the same, base height still adds to the model. The equal works or adds to the bottom level. The equal model removes any model above it. The new equal model will prevail over any other model that's there. It does not matter the height of the new model, as long as it has some height, that will prevail over any model that's there. Equal model wins. If you put a second equal model on top of the first one, the second one wins. So in that case, build order does impact it. So let's go back to the model, and let's go into 0.75 and see what happens as we raise it up. 0.75, apply, and so it's not quite to the flat area now, but there's still no model. The in-place model is still gone, and there's nothing above it. So jumping on up to 1. So the flat model is totally gone still. The new equal model is rising above it. You can see there's no, like in the max model, there's no in-place model here around the edges. It's strictly the equal model. So we'll jump on up to 2. And you can see that it totally just obliterates everything above it. Obviously, we're a touch too high, but that's how the equal merge type equal works. You'll find a lot of use for this if you want to get rid of something, make it go away. I use it for when I'm building my widgets. It works very well.
Thank you for watching the video. Here's some additional resources. Hopefully we'll have another video soon. Please subscribe and like if you found this useful.